Hello and welcome to Sheepdog Says. I'm Sheepdog and today I need a bit of help really, I guess. It's coming up to 2 years since I last renewed my phone, my mobile phone, and I want to get an iPhone 8 Plus, but everywhere I'm looking is either it's just a minefield. I've developed a bit of an ongoing hatred for mobile phone companies. They've become my natural enemy, and kind of dealing with them just drives me nuts. Because all the advice on the internet suggests that you just ring them up, or kind of nonchalant, and just say, "I'm not renewing with you," and then they go, take my firstborn child, and please, we'll bend over and do anything, and just give us your business. But in my experience, when I ring them, they all just kind of go, "Yeah, what can I say? Sorry, mate. See you later. Bye." And that's not with it. That's not me even trying to haggle. That's me just trying to say to them, "I want to renew my phone," and they basically go, "Well, it's going to go up by 20 quid, or it's going to go up at all, really, and you're going to get less stuff for it, and it doesn't really work, and you have to pay 200 quid up front." And I look at the internet and I just see all these companies offering these special offers, but for some reason they don't sit right with me in some of them, or I can't take them right away. I've got to wait 2 months for that one. It's all a bit of a weird system. But today I spent my lunch break trying to sort it out with Three, that I'd found all these good deals online, saying that they could give me an iPhone 8 Plus for free, plus the monthly installments and blah blah blah. When I rang them, they're like, "Nah, we don't do that anymore, sorry." Completely shut me down. And I don't know what to do next. I've got a bit of an ongoing hit list with these different companies. I mean, I'm ruling out Vodafone off the bat because they're stupidly expensive. I don't want to have to remortgage my house because that's just ridiculous. I can also rule out T-Mobile because their signal in my area is just shocking. Someone reminded me earlier, they said that they went to cancel their T-Mobile and said to them they didn't have any signal in their area, so they offered to knock it down to a fiver for them. And when they said no, they were shocked. And I thought, well, yeah, you wouldn't say yes because you don't have any signal. You can't use it. And that's pretty much when I moved to Deeping, where I live. Mine just didn't work, so I had to get rid of it. At that point in time, I made the mistake of moving to Three, and my hatred for mobile phone companies went through the roof. This is when my cartoon life comes into full swing again. So I went there with a friend of mine. We both got new iPhone whatevers they were at the time, maybe iPhone 5s, 4s, something like that. We both had them about a day, and mine didn't sound right when I put headphones in. I couldn't hear music. It was just all wobbly and weird. And I rang my friend to see if her phone was playing up, and she couldn't hear me when I rang, and her phone was playing up. It wouldn't connect calls or something. You could hear her talking, but she couldn't hear you. So we both went into the Three store and said, "We've just bought a phone in here yesterday. Can we replace it?" And the guy said to us, "Well, no, you bought a refurb." We were like, "Wait, first, we didn't know we'd bought a refurb." And he said, "And we don't replace them in store. You have to go to the Apple store to do it." I said, "Well, I was only in here yesterday." So I had a bit of a trademark there. When I was at uni, I was a bit of a nightmare for having sort of meltdowns at people. I still kind of do it now, but I just went mad at them, to the point where I started telling all of their customers in the store to leave because they were being sold dodgy, broken kit, and that Three wouldn't do anything about it. And I was really trying to stop people from making the same mistake I had. They were literally buying the same phone from the same shop and everything, and I was saying, "I bought this yesterday. It's broken. Don't do it. There's 4 other phone shops on this like promenade. Go to them." They kicked me out of the shop. I wasn't allowed to come back in, unsurprisingly. So when I got home, I rang Three to continue my war against them and complain. This is where it got even weirder, because I picked up the phone, speaking to the guy, and I said to him, "Look, I've just got into your shop. I didn't handle it very well. I was unprofessional about it all, but I'm your customer. You sold me a broken phone and you're refusing to fix it. You're refusing to do anything about it. You want me to drive an hour to Cambridge to get it replaced. I want you to sort it out, basically. So I'm not happy." The weirdest thing I've ever had happen, well, the second weirdest thing I've ever had happen, and I'll get to the weirdest one in a minute, ever in a phone call, the guy basically, he took a deep breath and he said to me, "You Asians always want something for nothing, don't you?" And I just stopped. and thought, hang on a minute, what? I was like, firstly, not Asian. I don't know if the camera does it justice, but I'm paler than I don't know, pale thing. I'm moon face. I'm so white. Secondly, that's racist. I was like, thirdly, I don't think you're going to have a job in the morning because this is recorded. So I asked him to put through to a manager. He just hung up on me. So I rang back and I said to him, so I don't really want to get somebody sacked, but you want to listen back to the call I've just had. They listened back and they rang me and they're all apologetic and they basically gave me 3 months free, and I had to go down to Cambridge, just to say, to replace the phone. That was quite simple, actually. I was in and out in seconds. That's why I always want to go with Apple, because I went to the shop, I replaced it on the spot, no questions asked, and the next phone was fine. I think I still had it till about a year ago when I gave it to somebody else, and it still worked. But I couldn't believe it. 3 are kind of off my radar because of that, because A, it was broken, and B, they were racist about it. The management, I'm not saying the whole company was, I don't want to be sued by them. They can check their own records, it definitely happened, so I'm not worried about that. I'm talking about real life facts that happened to me, but it was just ridiculous. So it kind of, I think I'm fair to say 3 are kind of off the list in my head. Again, don't want to pay for Vodafone because it's ridiculous. I don't have a third kidney to sell, and T-Mobile and Orange, if they still exist, don't really do signal in my area. So that leaves me with EE and O2. Now, O2 don't sit well with me because they sponsored Arsenal Football Club for a long, long time. And that already, I mean, I know Sega did, I had a Dreamcast, but I already had that, I think, before they sponsored them, or at least I wasn't aware of it as much. Whereas the O2, it grates me. It also grates me that they bought the Millennium Dome and they charge a lot for the tickets and that. But then I think being an O2 customer would get me priority tickets for that. That sounds good. But they're linked to BT, or they were at one point, and I can't remember if it was O2 or BT where I had the first weirdest moment of my life on a phone call when I rang them to sort something out, and the guy said, "Oh, how are you doing? Have you had a good weekend?" And I went, "Yeah, how are you?" And he went, "I'm not good, actually." And I was like, "Oh, all right, what's up?" Thinking, don't care, just solve my problem. I'm just making a phone call, it's customer services, I don't care. And he goes, my girl broke up with me. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Starting to think, okay, maybe I was a bit harsh. He's in a bad way. I said, I'm sorry to hear it. And he went, yeah, man, I was in the club in front of all my boys. She came in and she dumped me. And I was like, were you together long? I don't know why I asked. And he said, yeah, quite a while. I think it was a few years, if I remember rightly. And I said, well, if these things happen, mate. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Plenty more fish in the sea. At this point, I'm thinking, why did I say that? And he just broke down. He just started crying. And he just said something like, no, she was the one, man. I just can't believe she let me go. And then I was just like, like, sorry, I wish I could help. He said, can I just put you on hold a second? And he put me on hold, and I thought, this is a wind up. And I was on hold for about 30 seconds, and he came back and he's like, and talking to me, trying to go through my query about my phone bill or whatever it was. And he's just like, thanks for listening to me. And so then, like, he's going through everything, and then I'm consoling him more, just saying, look, mate, don't worry about it. These things happen. I broke up with somebody, and then a week later I met my wife. I'd sworn off women forever, and then I met her, and now we're married, and the same could happen to you. And he's being all like, thanks, man, I appreciate it. When I got off the phone, my wife sat there going, what just happened to you? You were calling O2, right? You were calling about phones. You weren't calling a helpline to help. Like, you weren't the Samaritans. You weren't offering any kind of support to. And so those 2 calls, I don't think I'd never topped them. I've had some at work myself, where I've been the person on the phone and the call's been weird. But these were me calling as a customer, and the onus is on them to be professional, not on me. So I mean, I don't know what to do. Part of me wonders whether it'd be worth getting the Galaxy S9 or whatever it's called, the Samsung phone. But then I had a Samsung phone when the S3 was out, and it was awful. It was the most clunky nonsense phone I've ever had. I like the fact that I could put a bigger battery in the back of it, but other than that, I hated it. I think that might have been the last thing I did. I think that might have been what I did with 3 before I left them. So I mean, I feel like it has to be an iPhone. I use my iPad, I use my Mac. I'm used to it all. I don't know what the implications would be for my Pokemon Go login. I'm sure it'll be fine. But who do I go with? I mean, one thing I'm thinking of researching is whether I can get a phone on pay monthly over 24 months, and whether I can then get a SIM card from EE that kind of covers what I do but for much less. But I don't know how that works. It seems like a lot of faff. I mean, is that something that people do? I need some advice really. I need an adult to tell me how to do it, or somebody with a bit of a, I've got mates. I'm mates with Kevin Bacon. I mean, that's another thing I thought. Somebody I know must be connected to Kevin Bacon in some way, because he's Kevin Bacon. He's the most connected man in the world. That's why he's in the adverts, because there's 7 degrees between me and him at all times. But I've asked 7 people and not one of them know him. And do you know him? Because if you do, I need help. I need a discount. He's bound to get a friends and family discount, and quite frankly, that's foolish to give him that, because everybody's his friends and family, because he's Kevin Bacon. Other than that, I'm at a loss. So yeah, I don't know. Either help me find a contract that's good, find Kevin Bacon, or I'm gonna have to get one on finance and hope that that's the answer. But that is it for today. I need some help with my phone. I hope you've enjoyed the stories. And yeah, as usual, like, subscribe, comment. I'm 20 away from 200, 2 days after I hope to get there. I feel like I kind of flopped a bit there, but that's what I get for trying to set goals, really. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.